All right, welcome back to another episode of the J Youngblood Experience. Today I have with me Mr. Raymond Webber. How we doing, brother?
Man, I ain't got no complaints. How you, Jay?
I'm good, brother. Listen, you've been in the Augusta area for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
Tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
So I am originally from St. Louis. I've been down here for about a decade now. Of course, was a collegiate All-American at the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. Played in the NFL for a tick, on and off for 4 years, and then I opened up MTAG, Athlete Development Center Sports Training Complex. Started out outside, but we'll get into that. We'll dive in that. But yeah, so I've been in Augusta, man, for a decade, training athletes almost as long.
How you been enjoying Augusta?
It's up and down, man.
Up and down? Yeah.
It's Augusta, man. So it got its
Yeah.
good spots, and it also got its,
Got his bad spots. So
yeah.
tell the people, when did you fall in love with football, and when did you know that you wanted to have a career in football? Whenever you were growing up, tell us about your upbringing and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. So I came from the inner city of St. Louis, and I played every sport. I played basketball, football, baseball, ran track. Basketball was, of course, one of my favorite sports, but I could rebound and I could block shots and I could foul real good. But that don't get you a long way if you only
I gotcha.
if you're only 6'3". So basketball was really my first favorite sport. But then everything that I was good at in basketball translated over to football, and I kind of felt, I had a knack for it. My size on the football field was way bigger than my size on the basketball field. So I had started playing when I was 5, and I kept playing until, up to the age of 25. But I knew that I loved football, honestly, when I lost it, when it got taken away from me. I transferred high schools my sophomore year. The end of my sophomore year, I was ineligible. They said I got recruited to go to the school that I went to. So my eligibility was taken from me. And it was just heartbreaking, man. Honestly, my junior year, I practiced every day with the team like I could play. I would dress out every game, hoping that some magical letter would come saying I could play, man. I would cry when I first got the news. I would cry. I would write letters to the Board of Education, just trying to get them to prove it. And so in that, I realized, like, man, this is something that I really got a passion about.
Yeah.
It could have been easy to say, I'm not going to practice. I'm gonna get a job, or I'm gonna go do this, that, and the third. Like, well, I'm wasting my time with this. It might not be for me. But I stuck with it. I went to practice. I was first one in practice, last one in league practice. I took that time. Monday through Thursday was my game day because I couldn't play on Saturdays at the time, or Friday
Yeah.
and Saturdays. So that's when I really realized that, like, hey, man, I got a love for this game. And it matured even more when I got to college. And I told myself, I'm NFL bound, no distractions, that my ultimate goal is to make it to the NFL. And so I did everything I could, to make that come to fruition.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically what you're saying is you don't know how good something is until it's gone, is basically what you had to go through.
This is the truth. Yeah, man. I didn't realize that I had a love for it as much as I did until I couldn't do it.
I gotcha. And so what was your motivation? What kept you going through high school, college? What was your main focus whenever you were going through all that?
I had to beat statistics in my environment. Honestly, like I said, I grew up in the hood, and I didn't want to be just another person that was from my neighborhood that went on to be average. So that my mother was always encouraging me. She used to say, "Y'all curse on the podcast?"
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, she used to say, "Do the damn thing" all the time, and I just knew, what I'm saying? Like, I knew,
Yeah.
like, this was my calling at one point. Like, I wanted to be an attorney, all of that. But man, something about football that I just kept getting drawn back to the game, no matter what kind of obstacles I had, how many elements got in my way. It was just kind of like, fuck it, this is what we supposed to be doing. So that's what I
Yeah.
did. I kept following through with it.
So coming out of high school, you said you went where?
To the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. So it's a Division I AA
I
HBC.
gotcha.
Yeah.
And then whenever you got there because I've talked to a couple athletes who go from high school to college, and as they say, it's a completely different arena. Whenever you got to college, is that like something that hits you? It's like, oh yeah, everybody's good out here.
Yeah, that and the game speed is crazy. Like the
Yeah.
game is way faster. Um, like I said, you got linebackers. Like, so you might think that you're fast in high school because you play a skill position, you play corner, you play receiver, but everybody fast. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got old linemen running 4.7 40s and linebackers running 4.4s, and everybody is just as athletic as you are and stuff like that. So you got to deal with that. You got to deal with that. Like that's a major factor. My bad. I want some car. Look like it might be. It's yours. Yours going off. But so my bad.
No, you good.
But yeah, but everybody's fast. The game, like you actually got to study. Your natural talent can't just take you to different. Like it can't carry you in college because
Yeah.
everybody's already the best person at school. The best person on their team and stuff like that. So now you got to do that difference. You got to do what's gonna make you different and you stand out and stuff like that. And so that was one of the things I had to grasp early on. And shit, they hit hard in college.
Yeah.
So
Oh, for sure.
that was yeah, man. You think you got hit hard in high school? You got guys that's weight room heroes and drinking all the creatine they can find and like they kamikazes living and dying for that shit. So that's what you get introduced to while you're in college. Like hell. I mean, it's grown man business. That's what they say,
Yeah.
especially when you're 18, 17, 18, coming into there playing against 21, 21, 22-year-olds is already like considered men. And hell,
Yeah.
they come to hit you and stuff like that. So that was one of the things. And everybody's smart. Like, you got to actually study in college. Like I said, you got to watch film. High school didn't prepare us enough for that, for what you got to actually, do to prepare to be even considered to be going in the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that. Whenever you're studying film, what are you looking for? Because a lot of people who didn't play football, whenever that's like a blank screen for them, they don't even understand what that means.
Yeah, so I studied like a quarterback, even though I played wide receiver. I
Mm-hmm.
made sure that I knew what everybody on offense had, what was doing, like so I could understand. Like I catch the ball, where's the avenues if I'm blocking, where's he running to? And I used to draw out every play. Like you got to draw out every play, because I'm a visual learner. Like you can
Yeah.
say something, but I'm gonna write it out, and I'm gonna constantly keep writing it out. And if I can draw it, if you just say the name of the play and I can draw it, that means I know what I'm doing. And then too, I started studying defense even more. I probably knew more about defense than I did about offense at one certain time because you got to know your opponent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
you got to know what it looks like because it's an adjustment to every route. If it's cover two and I got a fade ball, I got an outside release. The ball gonna be a whole shot. If it's cover three, it's gonna be a back shoulder. Throw
Yeah.
something like that. So it's just stuff like you got to understand, realize where the safety is. Because at the end of the day, it's 11 people on offense, 11 people on defense. And if you know where the defenders are going to be, what coverage they're going to be in, you're going to understand if you're a decoy or if you're going to be the number one option or whatever. Like, what's the benefit? You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
yeah, man, that was an adjustment that I saw a lot of young, wide receivers and football players come in and struggle with because they couldn't realize that they had that me attitude. And when you playing, 11-man football, grown man football, every play ain't meant for you. You know what I'm saying? No matter
Yeah.
if you feel like I'm open, throw your hands up and shit like that. Every play ain't meant to come to you or whatever. So you got to understand that you might just have to run your man off or, so a lot of guys struggle with that. I had to adjust my freshman year, but after I got it, I
Yeah.
became a real student of the game.
Do you feel like coming out of high school is like checkers and then college is like chess? Everybody's good and you just have to make sure you're doing your job?
Yeah, so if I had to relay it to a board game, no, I would say it's Connect Four, because
Connect
Connect
Four?
Four is such a fast paced game, and you got to be able to think on the go.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, high school is definitely slower. High school, you can always scheme and game plan and beat people, but college is shit. Then like battleship, you know what I'm saying? Like it's an action for every, it's a reaction for every action. So it's kind of just like, all right, you do this, I'm gonna do this. You do this, I'm gonna do
Yeah.
that. And so it's more meticulous than high school. High school, you still get away with having a great athlete on the field.
Yeah.
You got
Absolutely.
a special running back that can just go, or a quarterback in here. He taking over the game. They can't stop him because he a man amongst boys. But college, like we said, college is grown man business. Everybody is an adult. Everybody's an athlete. You got 5 stars. You got 4 stars. You got guys that were overlooked that was really good that just didn't get exposure. So you got to go
Yeah.
against all of that, and then you got great minds thinking. You got high school. You got a lot of PE teachers that went to college may not ever have to actually play the game. You got these volunteer coaches that don't know. So the strategy there ain't real crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't got to
Yeah.
going there and be, oh, I got to outthink Nick Saban. But when you get to college, you going against guys who had to go through the ringer to get there. Not just great athletes, but you got guys who became like, career coaches that
Yeah.
they study. Like you got to go through guys who their only job is to watch film and then show you what they broke down on film. So you got to go through all those elements. Old professional athletes coming down to coach and stuff like that. So it's a war room. It's way different than what you go against in high school.
Yeah. And what was your biggest struggle, you think, as you went through coming from high school to, or that transition coming from high school to college?
It was three: maturity. You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, again, some of your teammates gonna have kids. Hell, some of them, they looking at like this is all I got or whatever. I'm trying to graduate. I'm trying to go to the league. So you got to be mature in that element. Two, studying those plays. Like again, like when I was in high school, we had a few plays, but it wasn't nothing serious, nothing intricate like how it is in college. You got audibles, you got checks, you got hots, you got sights, you got all of that stuff that's built into every play that you got to learn. So that was overwhelming when I first got to college. And the last thing is just realizing that, hey, it's a team sport. Like everybody here was a superstar. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you gonna come in no matter how much coach said I love you. You got to prove yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you got to earn your stripes. It's not just gonna be given to you because you this that and the third. You did this in high school, so you got to redo that. You know what I'm saying? Like you only get one opportunity to really get that chance because then they're gonna look to the next man because they got to protect their job. Coaches got to protect their jobs. ADs got to protect their jobs. They gonna want the best man out there. So yeah,
Absolutely.
maturity, studying, and just realizing that sometimes you're a superstar, sometimes you're a role player. So
Yeah. And what was that first moment for you whenever you got into college? Where you like,
mhm.
okay, well, this is welcome to college moment. What was that moment for you?
Twofold. The number one wide receiver on my team, a guy named Jason Jones, still love him like a brother to this day. Like I was having a great camp. He had some stuff going on, so he wasn't in camp. So I'm having a
Yeah.
great camp. Everybody looking at me like, oh, this freshman came in and he ready and he mousing all these people and stuff like that. And then he come back and it's kind of like, all right, go get your young ass back in your place or whatever. And I'm like, this is my team. And he and I argue. Again, I'm just doing everything athletically. Like I'm not remembering the plays. I messed up a play and the quarterback just happened to throw it to me. I'm downfield. I jump over two defenders at Moss, them the starting corner and another at safety. Moss both of them, and I'm excited like, yeah, I'm the shit, I'm the shit. And he had a humbling moment where he went to go try to humble me and stuff like that. And he said to me, your young ass need to learn the goddamn plays. And I'm like, man, it's my damn team. He's like, no, it ain't. Watch whoop de whoop and says this stuff to me. Then he's like, he's like, I'm trying to go to the league next year, and if I got you sitting on the bench who can get me open, because I can't get double teamed if you out there, and I got somebody else that ain't as good, but he know the plays, then you making it harder for me to do what I got to do. So your young ass got to
Yeah.
learn this shit. And the way he said it, I'm ready to square up, but then I'm kind of like, God damn, he might be right. And then the second time is when I took my first big hit. We playing New Mexico State, and I'm running the shallow cross. And in high school, ain't no defenders really knocking you off your feet. But quarterback throw a post route downfield, they intercept it. I'm coming across on a shallow cross, just la di da di da, looking at the play. This big motherfucker Samoan come knock me off my feet. I'm hey man. By the time when we got to film that next week, coach kept rewinding, telling me, y'all look at this. Hey, welcome to the swag. You got swag. Keep your head on the swivel. Everybody on the outside.
Oh, damn.
Damn. So that hit right there, I was like, shit, boy,
So
this
that's that
grown
big
man
humble
business.
moment. Yeah. That's
Yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
So transitioning, coming from college into the league,
Mm-hmm.
were you drafted, undrafted? How did that transpire?
So I came out 2011, which was the lockout year. This is probably the most unorthodox draft that they had. I went undrafted, but I was the highest paid undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
So what happened was they had the lockout year. They arguing about the CBA or whatever, and they put a cap on how much you can pay undrafted free agents, and so you get 16 undrafted free agents. Then everybody else is just like a signing or whatever, and so you got a certain amount of money that you can make that they got each team got allotted to pay these 16 players. And the max you can give is a third of what the pot is. So say for instance, if the pot was 75,000 or whatever, the max you can give is like 25,000.
Yeah.
I was a 25,000 guy. It wasn't nobody else in the draft that was a $25,000 guy. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, so and so I went to Tampa from there, but like I said, I led the nation coming out of college and stuff like that. But I had an asterisk by my name. One, because at first they didn't believe in my speed because I ran a 4.7 my junior year. Came back and I ran a 4.4 and a 4.5 flat for pro day. But two, I got in trouble, as a sophomore and shit like that. So when I got kicked out of school, expelled or whatever, that put an asterisk by my name, like, is this a behavior guy? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it was one of those ordeals, but it still worked out. I went to the team that best fit me. So the great thing about not getting drafted is, I had 16, 17 teams all sitting there bartering for me, like, hey, negotiating with my agent. And I got to pick who was the better team off of the visits that I had. Because, it's almost like college. You go on visits, pre-draft visits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Talk to the coaches. You're looking at the rosters. Me and Tampa Bay head coach and the wide receiver coach, we hit it out. Coach Raheem Morris, who's actually the head coach of the Falcons now, and Eric Yarber, who was coaching with the LA Rams now. He might still be there, but we had a connection. When I went on my visit and stuff like that, they had young wide receivers, and I was like, shit, it makes sense for me to go there. So I was the highest paid undrafted free agent that year, and I was the first guy to sign his contract that year too. So.
And what was that like for a lot of people coming from the Augusta area? I don't know a lot of people that have been in the league besides Dexter Carter.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that experience like for you going into the league? What was that feeling signing that contract?
Man, it was crazy. Like I said, I ain't grow up with nothing, bro. I ain't have a whole lot. I ain't gonna say nothing because I had a mama that would fight for me, help me. But I didn't have money growing up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even in college, it wasn't like how they got NIL deals and all this sports stuff. Like, I made ends meet, but I wasn't, a big money guy. So now I go from not having no money to signing six figures on my name. It's kind of like, shit, boy, we made it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I get that.
But it was also an eye-opening thing because it's like, hey, youngster, it's a job now. It's a real job.
Yeah.
I mean, like, college is a job now too, but at that time, football was grown man business, and so now you ain't going against nobody. You ain't competing for a spot against nobody who got to go to third period, and they looking at their other career. You competing against somebody for a spot that, shit, they got 4 kids. They 28, 32 years old. They stapled in the league. Yeah, this their livelihood.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna help you study. Ain't nobody gonna make sure you this, that, and the third. And then, shit, you really got to steal reps because it's money on the line. So that was the biggest eye opening thing for me. But signing my name on that line, man, and getting that paper, hell, that was ain't nothing like it. You know what I'm saying? Unless you have kids, like your first child birth and shit like
Yeah.
that. That's the only thing that's competitive to it. But yeah, man, it's a crazy feeling. Like, you made it. You in that
Yeah.
1%. Once you sign your name on that, you in that 0.001% or whatever it is that a lot of people don't get. That kids dream about. Shoot, people start buying your jerseys and stuff like that. Like, you become what you consider somebody in the world. So yeah.
Yeah. Was it kind of bittersweet because you realize, okay, I'm here, but you realize, okay, the job's not done. Like I still got work to put in, work to do.
Hey, so the pressure isn't. You thought the pressure was making it, right? The
Yeah.
pressure is once you
Keeping it.
get there, is keeping it. You know what I'm saying? Because
Keeping it.
now every day is a job interview, bro. Like, every day is a job interview, and the hardest thing, for me, because I was the number one receiver at my school, high school, college, or whatever, and I never had to play special teams in my entire life. Like, I ain't returning kicks, I ain't gonna try to block kicks, nothing. The only thing I ever played was hands team.
Yeah.
Well, get to the league, the way you come in is like, if you ain't no top three draft pick, top 3 round draft pick, you got to go play special teams. You know what I'm saying? So imagine an adult who has no idea, never played football before in his life.
Yeah.
That's what I look like on special teams. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as
Gotcha.
receiver, I can show video clips, bro. Can't
Yeah.
nobody stop me at receiver. But my partner Santonio Holmes told me, he said, "Well, shit, they paying me millions of dollars to be number one receiver." This is when I was with the Jets. He said, they paying you to be on special teams, and if one of us get hurt and need somebody, then you come in and show what you can do on the football field as far as being a wide receiver. But if you want to make the squad, you got to be able to navigate special teams. And Jay, I struggled with special teams, but like, it was like a foreign language to me. Like, something I used to try to sit in the special teams meeting in college, and my the special teams coach was like, "Well, get your ass out of here." You know,
Yeah.
I'm not about to get you hurt doing this shit. So it hindered me when I got to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Because I had no idea what that shit was. They sitting over there, you know, they calling I can't even think of the damn what's when you go to the right it's blue and when you go to the red the left is red or some shit like just calls like that. I'm sitting there like this, missing my block because you know I'm rushing upfield on punt return. I'm trying to go block the kick and not realizing that the goal is not to block the kick. The goal is to just push your man back and then you know lock in on
Yeah.
the block. I know that now as a coach and a trainer. But back then, as a player, shit, I had no inkling, you know, shit. I'm trying to block the kick, my man running
Yeah.
down the making the so like shit like that, you know. And I'm happy that I'm in a space to like, you know, talk about it because I tell all my young, you know, football players that's coming up, I say, listen, you're gonna have to play special teams. Like that's just the thing. You're gonna have to know how to play special teams to make a team. And I didn't know how to play with special teams, so you know.
And how was that? Did that have any like any type of pressure on your mental? Like, was that like you were trying to get in there, trying to be wide receiver, you're trying to do your thing, and then they put you in a position that you weren't ready for?
Yeah. You got to think. Like I said, as far as receiver, I don't catch with my body, so I catch with all hands. I'm
Yeah.
6'3", 228, 230, run a 4.40. I'm goddamn me. What's your boy who played for the Seahawks? Metcalf. I'm Metcalf in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm a monster, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like so, a receiver, I know I'm the shit. Like but you never really get that chance to showcase it because you can't do this what they you know and the thing I struggled with the most at the time was like well y'all brought me here because I was a hell of a receiver not y'all ain't never seen me play special teams so why the hell do I gotta play special teams to stay on the team you know what I'm saying instead of let me go compete for a receiver and I didn't understand it because it's not equal opportunity you know what I'm saying it's
Yeah.
like who get the most money that's who gonna go out there first because we can't be wrong so yeah no I struggle with that shit and bro this is probably the first podcast I ever said it on man, I used to smoke a shit ton of weed just to deal with it, to cope with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just kind of like, so I tore my hamstring my rookie year. That's what sidelined me. Like I was learning special teams, everything with Tampa doing well, but then I tore my hamstring. So new coach comes in or whatever the following year releases me. We probably cut about 14, 15 people that year or whatever, and brought in guys that he wanted. So I go, you know, Seattle, still can't run in Seattle, so they release me. Then I go to New York or whatever. And I'm there in New York and I'm balling. I'm having the best training camp out of everybody. I'm scoring every scrimmage that we played. The big scrimmage on the lights, I'm scoring. I score a 55-yard touchdown at the end of the scrimmage or whatever. Um, Moss and Darrell Reeves, Ellis Lancaster, all of those
Don't
guys.
tell me
Like,
that, man. Don't tell me that.
bro, this is not
Ray
a
over here, Mawson,
Jay,
my man.
the only person who gave me a fit, I won't even say I struggled with who gave me a fit in camp realistically was Antonio Cromartie. And that's because we were the
Really?
same size, you know, he lanky and stuff like that. So it was a battle for the ball. But like the smaller corners and stuff like that, yeah, I'm catching the ball on you. I'm blocking you. Like it wasn't complex. But again, the receiver coach couldn't see me. He refused to see me. You know what I'm saying? Because he had two guys he just drafted that year, Stephen Hill and what is Jordan? I think Jordan White is his name or whatever. He had Samuel Holmes. He had Jeremy Curley. Those were his guys. Chad Shillings came over from Oakland with him, so those were his guys. And so everything I did was never good enough, you know. So I'm sitting there like, damn, how do I work my way into this rotation? And I just keep getting hit with blocks. So after they did our yearly drug test, hell, hey, bro, who the plug out here? You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, I'm go to practice, have a good practice. I go to meetings. I just smoke before meetings because I know that bro gonna be sitting there on my ass. He ain't gonna say, well, you did good. None of this whoop de whoop. So I'm just sitting there, just mellowed out, just watching film and shit like that, studying. Now I still know I ain't making mistakes. I still know where I'm supposed to go and shit like that. And so, but every day I'm just sitting there waiting on. Because in the league, once you get cut, it almost becomes like, damn, is it going to happen to me again? When I got cut from Tampa, I cried. But when I got cut from New York, it wasn't like I wasn't sad. I was kind of like I could feel it coming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm in it. I'm in it, chiefing every day, coming to meetings, going to meals and shit like that. I'm just kind of like operating. And then finally, you know, I'm sitting there talking to the coach, and I'm like, you know, coach, you know, I'm serious about football and shit like that. Like I'm making plays with the what's wrong? And then we have a conversation. He say, "Man, I wish we would have talked before, you know, a little bit sooner." And that's when I knew I was like, "Shit, I probably ain't gonna make it through the weekend." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And lo and behold, I got cut. But after that, I really went into a state of depression. Shit, came home, hell, start drinking and smoking every day. I'm just at the house chilling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Doing my little workouts, then going back into my little hole or whatever.
So tell me, how did you overcome that? Whenever you got into that dark valley, that dark place, what was something that got you out of that?
Man, I really didn't even know until I got in trouble a little bit later when I was older that like what I had going on. I get diagnosed with major depression disorder. I get diagnosed with ADHD, bipolar and shit like that. So it's kind of like I'm like, damn, and it's because I got in trouble. So now they send me to, I put myself into like little AA meetings and shit like that because I wanted to go to rehab because get in trouble and stuff like that. You're trying to paint this picture that realistically, hey, yeah, I got an addiction or whatever. And so I'm just joking with the shit or whatever. And then I go to these AA meetings and I start hearing people talking shit like that. And I'm like, damn, some motherfuckers kind of look like me. And even though they talking about alcoholism, I don't struggle with alcoholism, which, shit, I'm smoking, but I'm just smoking a coke with X, Y, Z and shit like that. And so it's kind of like, damn, I go from there to maybe I need to go to therapy. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I go to therapy and I go see a therapist or whatever, and shit, they was like, it's something deeper with that. So they sent me from the therapist to the psychiatrist, and that's when they do all like the whole makeup and diagnose and shit like that. But I was just moving too goddamn fast, so it was kind of like, all right, let me find a place of peace and to slow down or whatever. So that's what I did. That's how I end up ultimately dealing with it, and then. My training almost became like my ministry at one point in
Yeah.
time in my life. Like it was something I needed to help me with the transition from sports because the transition from playing ball was one of the hardest things you got to do in life. You know what I'm saying? Because um, it's almost like an identity crisis or whatever. So you got when you playing ball, you Superman. You got the logo on, you got the jersey on, the team, the shield, all the shit behind you. Everybody love you. But when you stop playing and you take off that uniform and you're no longer that person, you become Clark Kent. People just walking past you and shit like that. Ain't nobody sitting there running up to you. Can I take a picture? You know what I'm
That
saying?
phone don't ring no more.
Exactly. So shit,
Yeah.
shit was humbling. So that was one of the hardest things to transition. But that shit started in 2012 though. Like I said, I was smoking daily. Trying to because I'm like shit. How I tear my hamstring? I haven't been injured my entire career. All the way up till I get to league, and then I make it to the show, and then I get injured. How did this shit work? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that like started like the spiral. And then going through that shit in New York, that shit just really just made me like numb to it. Damn near.
Yeah, I can only imagine, especially when you do something from you. You said you were 5 years old whenever you first started playing.
Mm-hmm.
Playing from 5 years old, you were probably what 23 when you got into the league, something like that.
21. What
Maybe
was
young
it?
21.
2011. I was born in 89, so 2011, whatever that math is. I don't know if that's 21 or 22, but it was right. I went to college for 4 years. We're really 3.5, and as soon as I graduated, I was going to play football.
So
So
almost playing 20 years of your life dedicating to something. I mean, I appreciate you sharing that with us because I do talk to a lot of athletes that we're having on. Some former athletes, some athletes who are still playing, and they speak about, it's a business. Unfortunately, it is a business.
mhm,
Whenever you do get into the league, even college now, it's a
mhm.
business. Um, but yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, man, because a lot of people need to hear that and understand, how to deal with it, how to overcome with it, knowing you're going to be in a dark place if it does happen, but how to get out of that. You know what I mean?
Right.
A lot of athletes need to hear that, and yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. So let's look into now. You have MTAG. What
hmm
made you want to get into the training, and what motivated you to get into that?
Man, to be honest, I had came to Augusta, right? And I had a surgery I had torn my MCL and my meniscus, so I had a surgery or whatever. And I'm at Evans Fitness Center at the time. Evans Fitness Center, they had an athletic trainer upstairs. So I'm walking through. I got a knee brace on. He walks up to me, "Hey, big man, you play ball or whatever?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess you can spot it." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, I don't, this spot up here. You can come train with me, whoop de whoop and stuff like that." So I'm like, okay, I need a place to train anyway. They give me a free membership and stuff like that. So I'm working out, go up there from time to time, work out with his joints and stuff like that. And then he was training this group of kids, and he had two kids that stood out. They were hell of a ball players. They were what was that? It might have been a junior year of high school, and I'm watching them like as he training them, and they the best kids in there. But he just going hard on them. I'm like, damn, what the fuck you going so hard on them? Like beating them down and shit like that. He's like, those guys, they come in and out. They don't like to work hard and shit like that. I'm like, okay. So they pulled me to the side. They was like, hey, big dog, after a couple sessions, can you work with us, on the side and shit like that? And I'm like, yeah, I ain't charging nothing like that. I was like, I just meet me at the field, because bro got, his thing going on upstairs and stuff like that. And I was like, I can help you out a lot of stuff. So I'm starting to train them or whatever, and they getting good, because I'm still actively playing at this time. Like, so this is just off season for me. This is my transition season. So I'm out there training them too. And then from those two more kids, they was like, man, my partners want to come or whatever and train stuff like that. So it went from 2 to 4 and then 4 to 6. And so these 6 kids having, success or whatever, they balling, and people start seeing it. They went to Lakeside, they went to Aquinas and stuff like that. So people start seeing it. Then I start training at Aquinas Field a little bit, and other parents was like, hey, how can we get our kid in? How much does it cost or whatever and stuff like that. I'm like, shit, I wasn't doing it for money, but hell, you can pay me this, that, and third, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you start jumping in. So it went from those first 2 kids to 24 kids. And I'm like, shit. It went from 24 kids to 50 to 60 kids where everybody's just showing up, meeting me at ARC Field, meeting me at Aquinas, meeting me at Blanchard Woods Park and shit like that. So I'm doing all of these sessions, and hell, I'm still just like, this ain't even no business. I still got, my regular stuff going on. And then people shit on it. People shit on it. I think so. Okay, thank you. And so I got all of this, thank you, going on or whatever, and people start getting mad at me for the level of success I got, and kids was like telling their parents like, Dad, I want to train with Blinky, and he's like, hey, Dad's like, who the hell is Blinky? It's like the football player Blinky, and so they started bringing more and more kids to me. So I had my first daughter in 2014. And that was the year, like, I had to make a decision, like, damn, am I going to keep going to play football, or am I going to, start thinking about my second phase of my career. And so from there, I was like, you know what? This shit's stressing me out, and I had Arizona call me literally while my daughter's being born onto my age, and I said, B, I can't go. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally about to have my child right now as we on the phone. Or it was like, Webb, ain't too many more opportunities going to come if you turn this down. I was like, I understand, but what type of person I would be to be chasing this dream that, they really ain't been showing me no love right now. And I miss this, moments like this, whatever.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
yeah, so I went through, all of that time, and I had got a job. I did a temp job or whatever. Like, this was a week after I get cut from a week after I get cut from Miami or whatever. I get a job working at what the hell is that place called? I go to, it's like a temp agency. They send me to the Marriott downtown. What the funny part about this story is the Marriott. We played the Falcons when I was with the Dolphins, and we were staying in the Marriott downtown Atlanta. We go through a secret exit or whatever to get up to the room so the fans don't bombard us and stuff like that. Spend it around a week or two later, I'm going to work at this. It's called career personnel or whatever. They send me out to the Marriott in downtown Augusta, and I go through a secret interest, but this time it's an employee interest. And I go downstairs to the basement, and I'm helping them move furniture and shit like that. And I got a nice truck. I got $65,000 Denali rims on it and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And so I pull up to work, car better than my boss and shit like that. And guys looking at me and they're like, "Hey, bro, what you doing here?" I'm like, "What you talking about? Man, I'm working." "Yeah, bro, but you don't look like you belong down here with us." Bro, what you talking about, bro? I'm tatted black just like y'all. Shit, my nigga, what you, bro? You pull up in when somebody, when the lower level guys, they always call their boss man. He's like, you got a better car than the boss man, and they brought us Subway or Jimmy John sandwich or something like that, and these cats going crazy, like asking for extra sandwiches and shit like that. And I'm kind of looking at it like not like I'm above it, but damn, you fighting over extra chips and shit like that. They like, you don't even care about this. I'm like, nah, like ain't nobody about to feed me. Like, so they was like, yeah, bro, you got a higher calling and shit like that. So I'm working there, and then I get a job as a district manager and trainer for Murphy Oil. So I'm working at the gas station for a year or whatever, and I'm still like training people on the side or whatever. And then I go look for a building, and I find a building that's $7,500. 7,500 square feet, like $2,500 a month. And I'm looking at it, and I hesitate, and I was like, dang, I should get it. It was perfect. Everything was perfect. Location was right behind the mall. Everything was perfect. And I hesitated, and then I called that guy back a month later. I was like, hey, do you still got that building? And he was like, Nah, I got rid of it, but I do got something else, and it was like a little 4,000 square foot building in Martinez. Wasn't big, wasn't pretty, wasn't even ready to be a gym. It had a whole bunch of shit in there. It didn't have it didn't have walls for real. Like it just had like the insulation that you can see and shit like that. And I went in and I said, man, it's perfect. I said, can you give me 30 days? Um, he give me 30 days to get it ready or whatever. He was like, yeah, I won't charge you no rent for 30 days and shit like that. So I took all the money I had and I dumped into that shit. Like literally, I had maxed my credit card out buying the turf. I had built the squat racks. I had built the bench press. Shit. I went on Marketplace and bought like a Smith machine that never ended up working. Bought a bench and shit like that. And my homeboy Jake, shout out to Jake Wood. Hey, if y'all need any good barbecue, Smoke Show is the spot to go. Shout out my
I
dog,
love the
Jake
smoke
Wood.
show. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
man. So me and Jake for 30 days we stayed inside, 4106 back there where I had the spot it, and we just built out that gym. We built the staircase, we redid the floor, we painted that motherfucker, everything. We built the squat racks. All my dog told me was hold what you got. And the whole time I was just holding that shit up, and we built it. And hell, as soon as I opened it up, the clientele that I had outside magnified. Like everybody came inside. They was just so happy because shit, the gusts it rained a lot in April, May. Like shit, it's raining
Yeah,
all the time. So
for
we was
sure.
counting sessions. So now we got us an inside location. So I went from there to training all these kids outside to inside. Added boot camp class, person training with adults and shit. We was killing it at that location for like 3-4 years, or whatever. So that was the start of the training.
And comparing that to where you were to where you are now, is it
Mhm.
leaps and bounds, or you still feel like you're learning a lot?
It's always a learning progress, but I will say I go from a 4,000 square foot facility to a 40,000 square foot facility and become
I
the
saw it, bro. Woo,
yeah,
woo.
became the largest minority owner in the state of Georgia as far as the facility and stuff like that. Had 60 yards of turf, where I only had shit. I didn't even have 60 feet at one point in time. And then hell had a full NBA basketball court. LeBron James' son coming there practicing. The Boozer twins, all these kids, NFL players coming in and out of that joint. Football, arena football games in it. Hell, they had basketball tournaments, ballers life came in the motherfucking hoop. Like it was it was the place. You know what I'm saying? Like it was crazy. And I had it for 5 years. Great 5 years, great run. But it became overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? I was a one man show. Health started to decline a little bit. Stress, like it was like another stressor because it's shit is such a high level. Like you got this high overhead, you gotta constantly keep keeping these people and shit like that. So it was an adjustment, but it was also an achievement. It was kind of like I put back on that uniform because who can say
Yeah,
something about I would do, man. I got the largest goddamn gym in the city. You know what I'm saying? It's just
yeah,
me. I ain't got no
yeah,
business partners. I ain't got no investors. It's just me. You know what I'm saying? So that was crazy. And then but I'm happy in the place I'm in now. I reset, took over a recreation center, outfitted it with turf, still got a basketball court and stuff like that. And I'm at peace because my schedule isn't as strenuous. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And then isn't as much because you follow sports. You talk sports all the time. The game didn't change, man. These goddamn kids is chasing names. They chasing other people off. Like they just want to be around other people. And I don't like the groupies in the like. If I train a kid, I want to be hands on with this kid. I want to fine tune their game and shit like that. I don't want to teach them something that somebody else come and teach them who don't know what the hell
yeah,
they talking about. You know what I'm saying? And that's where we at in the game right now. Everybody bouncing from here to here to here. Oh, where is it cheaper? Or where is it better? Or who goes here and shit like that. And the shit that they so you can be more popular than you can be good when it comes to this training shit. I'm not great with the camera. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as making videos and content and shit like that. But the training always work. You got guys who don't know what the hell they doing. You know what I'm saying? At all, but they just make cute little videos and shit like that, and people treat it like it's gospel.
yeah,
So but how watered down and how stupid this shit is and people making shit up as they go. I just stopped wanting to be a part of the rat race, honestly. So, I mean, where I started, it was amazing. And then I went to like the pinnacle, and now I'm just kind of like on a perch chilling now. Like, you know what?
yeah,
I'm watch this shit from afar.
for sure. And
Hmm.
through those years, did you enjoy, like, did you see like a light within those kids that you brought some of that love back that you may have lost whenever you were in NFL?
Man, listen, I had over 100 some kids that I trained that came through my program. Over hundreds of kids, 200, 300 of kids that came through my program. Over probably $10 million in scholarships that we were able to get these kids just out their God given athletic ability.
Yeah,
So This shit, and I'm watching a kid who got 2 left feet coming there, walk out of there with offers. Like, shout out to my boy Malik Leverett. Like, Malik is one of those kids that I started training in middle school that ran like a damn deer. He was tripping over his feet to, now he at EC, you know what I'm saying? Like, he
Yeah,
East Carolina, like, doing his thing. Same thing with Andrew May, who just graduated college this year from Mercer University. Again, he was one of those kids who went to Lakeside. People looked at him like, man, this kid don't got a damn chance. But if he gets somebody to get his hands on him, he had the size. Shit, he go to Mercer on a football scholarship. You know what I'm saying? Graduated Kappa, engineering degree and stuff like that. Derek Canteen, one of those same kids who
a
was, like,
dog, a
exactly. But
dog.
he was overlooked at Grovetown for a long
Yes,
time. You know what I'm saying? Freshman, sophomore year, we grinding. I'm telling him just block in. He transferred, to Evans and Hale to play for Cam Newton 17, and now shit. My dog at Cincinnati led the nation
he's a
in
dog,
interceptions
bro.
at Georgia Southern. So
I got to
kids like
witness that up front. That boy is a dog, man.
exactly. Kids like that made it worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
watching those kids like actually get a chance, man. And I got a wall of fame where I mean I can go down the list. D'Angelo Durham, Hale,
another dog.
TJ Smith, Lorenzo Holmes, like kids like that. Shit, my latest, Aaron Gregory is a kid I've been training since he was 7. Now this motherfucker got 52 offers. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? 4 or 5-star athlete, got an offer from damn near every school you could think of, balling, top 5 wide receivers in his class, athletes in the nation. Man, so I look at kids like that, and they like kind of show me that what I did wasn't in vain. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Shout
That's
out
just
to D'Lo. Shout out to Derek. Shout out Renzo. Man, Renzo was
yeah,
one of the fastest dudes I ever been around. Man,
man.
he was fast. He run
Y'all,
funny, but he was fast,
boy,
dogs. He
yes
was
sir.
so fast.
His feet ain't come off the ground, but y'all Grovetown squad, y'all had it. You just had to put all the tangibles together. Y'all had like AJ Brown back there.
AJ, man, and D'Lo at the same time at one time with Justin
Exactly.
Gibbs and Renzo and
Yeah.
Tone. Boy,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we
Yeah.
just the O line never got right, man. O line,
Yeah,
D
man.
line never got right.
That's usually the biggest thing. Like you can have all the skill positions that you want and stuff like that, but they weren't giving you time to get the ball off and stuff like that.
Nope,
So you got people
nope.
in your face. You got a big target that Justin Gibbs that just couldn't get the ball. You couldn't get the ball to him because shit they in your face. And D'Lo, he can run a mile, but if that hole ain't open, can't nobody get through it. So,
Yep,
but yeah,
exactly.
y'all was just
Interior,
yeah.
that interior alignment, that's
Yeah,
huge.
man,
A
y'all
lot of
was a
people
couple
don't
players away.
understand it.
Because
Yeah,
I mean, shout out to Coach Postel and Coach Carter, those guys. Like you had guys that knew football. Coach Carter, Dexter Carter, shout out to them. Played at Florida State, drafted first round to the 49ers, win the Super Bowl. Coach Postel played at Auburn. You know what I'm saying? So you got guys like that that's
yep.
coming back and they surrounding you with people that know what they supposed to be doing. Man, it just was. I mean, hell, you just can't get the tuba player to come over and play football. That's all it is. The biggest person in school is just telling them, no, I ain't
The
trying to play.
tuba
You know
player
what I'm
is
saying?
crazy. I
So,
think the biggest issue, bro, for me is like you have county schools all around Georgia.
hmm
In Columbia County, you have so many schools that divides up all the talent. It's hard to have a consistently good football team, in my opinion.
yeah, no, that's the truth. It's like Columbia County always was missing something. Now you got like I said, you got big linemen that's soft as Medicaid cotton, or you
Yep.
got guys that's the
Got the
biggest guys in
backbone
the
of a
school.
gummy bear, man.
Man, yeah, you got guys the biggest guys in the school, and hell, they want to be dope boys, or they no, I don't want to play football. I ain't got time for it. Like, do you not know that you're a walking meal ticket and shit like that?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
they giving kids scholarships just for their size. So, but yeah, y'all just but that's like y'all had a good coaching core. Like I
Yeah,
feel like y'all had a knowledgeable coaching core. One of the most knowledgeable coaching cores I've seen come through Columbia County. In some schools that I just look at them like this, they never gonna win shit. But
yeah,
I feel like y'all had a chance, and y'all had kids coming in that actually had talent. That was the year that Aquinas had kind of lost a ton of kids, and they all went to different locations and stuff, and y'all
yeah,
benefited. Y'all got 3 of those kids. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, for sure, for
yeah,
sure. So what's the future looking like for you, man? What you got going on right now?
yeah.
What's going on?
I'm a serial entrepreneur. I got MTAG still. I got a security company that's, I'm doing really well with that, with my guys out here working.
I did see that you were AB.
Had
I
Antonio
saw that. Yeah,
Brown, Ja Morant, Derrick Rose, Yo Gotti. Shit, we done had Boosie, we done had Jesus,
Boosie.
we done had to host a bunch of cats. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
so I got that, man. At one point in time, I was selling hair. Hell, I had sprinter vans, limousines, black trucks, all of this stuff. So I just and now I'm venturing over into real estate. So I'm just having fun. Everything I'm doing, I'm just trying to continue to challenge myself because that's the game. You know, the challenge is the motivation. Like, damn, can I be good at this? Can I be successful at it?
Competition.
Yeah, man. And I'm fortunate because everything I've tried, I've been successful at in some capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, just being a serious entrepreneur, hell, getting married and then raising my kids, that's like my main focal point. Like, so.
Yeah. I can see that competitive nature still in you. Whenever you
Mhm.
talk about all this, you don't want to be second because you
Yeah,
hate
no,
losing. You hate losing more than you like winning.
exactly. I
I
can listen, losing is just not can't be in my DNA.
hate
But
it, bro. I hate it. I can't stand
yeah,
it.
you got to, man. You got
Yeah.
to.
For sure. Now, listen, man, I appreciate having you on the podcast. We're about 45, almost, we're close to an hour. How I
Yeah.
finish off all of my podcasts, man, is I always want my guests to give some positive vibes, some positive advice, good
Hmm.
advice, whether it's to up and coming football players who are already in college. Do you have anything out there for somebody that could change their life, some type of thing that you went through that you can talk about?
I'll tell them this. I ask them this: are they the pig or are they the chicken? Right? So when it comes to breakfast, you got two main items. You got bacon and you got eggs, right?
Yep.
And so to get the eggs, the chicken does what? He just comes by and he lays the eggs. He goes about his business. There's no sacrifice. It only takes a couple minutes. He might be losing a little baby, but he's just laying the egg. She's just laying the egg or whatever. So that's what the chicken does. But to get bacon, what does the pig have to do?
It dies, bro.
The pig has to die. So the pig is showing you that it's fully committed, so you can have bacon. So are you the pig
Yep.
or the chicken? Are you participating like the chicken, or are you committed like the pig? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I ask everybody, are you the pig and the chicken? If you're doing something, always try to be the chicken. I always try to be the pig. If you just the chicken, then you just wasting your time. And somebody else is ready to be the pig. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So be committed, lock in, but most of all, have fun. Do whatever bring you peace. It shouldn't. I mean, working hard is working hard. You got ups and downs, but it shouldn't stress you out to the point where
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying you're not enjoying it. Because once you ain't having fun with it, be done with it because it's
For
really a job,
sure. For
and
sure, man.
life too short to drag shit out and merely just be doing shit because everybody expects you to do it or or because it's just the only thing you know. You know what I'm saying? Like, so understand what it is that you want out of life, find peace, and just work hard. Whatever you see that yourself doing, go 100% and go 100 miles per hour. You know what I'm saying? And commit yourself to it and be disciplined. Because at the end of the day, you got two type of pains. You got the pain of discipline, and the pain of regret. The pain of discipline is doing what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it. The pain of regret is wishing that you did. So
Absolutely. For
that's
sure.
it.
I appreciate all that, man. I appreciate all the knowledge, all the stories you told on here. Um, at Ray Blinky on Instagram, you can find him
Mm-hmm.
there. I appreciate having you on, man. Ray, keep it up, man. I know you're
Yes,
always
sir.
going to do great things. You're always going to try to be the best. Keep it
Believe
up,
that.
man.
Believe that.
Absolutely. Take care.
Appreciate it, Jay. It's hard, but it's
No
felt.
problem.
Yes, sir.